Why don't we get to Carl Cameron now, because Carl had an exclusive sit-down interview with Sarah Palin. And Carl, before we get to that, I just want to know if there's any reaction from the signing of this bill coming out of the McCain campaign today.
Well, obviously they're trying to sort of take credit without taking credit. Senator McCain was subject to some criticism for returning to Washington and calling the president to invite everybody to the White House, including House Republicans. And McCain can say that were it not for his participation, the House Republicans may not have gotten a seat at the table and their taxpayer protections might not have gotten into the bill, and ultimately what passed and would not have come to fruition. So he doesn't want to look like he's gloating, and he doesn't want to take disproportionate credit. But clearly, Senator McCain's role, controversial though it was a week and a half ago, did contribute to putting some of those taxpayer protections into the bill. It was his running mate, obviously, on the debate stage against Democrat Joe Biden last night. And in her first post-debate interview, we had an opportunity to sit down with Sarah Palin exclusively this morning. Fabulous view overlooking the Mississippi and the big arch there in St. Louis. Talked about a number of things, asked her if she wanted to revise any of her statements last night, and she did. She said she apologized for getting the name of the commander in Afghanistan wrong. She referred to him as McClellan. His name is McKernan, and she got that right today and apologized for the error last night. And we talked about some of the things that have happened in her interviews preceding the debate, particularly her inability to answer some questions to Katie Couric, one of which really troubled Republican conservatives because she wasn't able to talk about any Supreme Court decisions that she disagreed with. So we put it to her this morning, and there was a sense that she'd gone back and looked at the books and would be ready for the answer. Here's what she said.
Sure.
Your sort of judicial philosophy would be?
A recent one, Kennedy versus Louisiana, where the Supreme Court will tell a state that they can't impose the death penalty even on heinous crime of repeat child rapists, that a state, its rights were taken away by the Supreme Court, and we would not be able to decide for ourselves whether the death penalty in a case like that could be implemented or not. That one, I'm certainly not a supporter of that decision. The Kelo case, also with eminent domain, that affects me as a governor. It had affected me as a mayor also. Private property rights are so precious in this nation, and for the Supreme Court to have sided with government instead of the people, the property owners on that was frustrating. And then another one, personally affecting me also, the Exxon Valdez oil spill. The siding with the oil company as they decimated Alaska's coastline and much of our fisheries and much of our coastal communities' livelihoods, the people who live there, and they sided with Exxon on the punishment, the punitive damage that was to be awarded. Exxon won on that one in a sense, and that was frustrating.
A very comprehensive answer to what Supreme Court decisions Sarah Palin says that over time she's disagreed with. Now, she didn't answer that in the original interviews in the last few days prior to last night's debate, nor did she talk about what newspapers she reads. Today she said the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, and a host of others, the Economist magazine. There were other things that she sort of sought to clear up, trying to go back and fix those things, and she said the reason that some of her answers to many seemed inadequate was not that she didn't know the answers, it was that she was annoyed. And she apologized for that annoyance and said that in the future she'd make a better effort to try to not be too impatient with the mainstream media.
Carl Cameron live for us in St. Louis. Carl, thanks very much. Martha.